67. Arsenal were favourites in 69. Chelsea were favourites last year, and all of them lost. So that must give some encouragement to these Norwich lads as they come onto the Wembley turf for the first time in their career. The teams to be presented here to the Earl of Harwood, Honorary Vice President of the FA, a lifelong supporter of Leeds United, first going along the Tottenham line. Having a word with Mike England, who had that troublesome knee, a knock that he got last week. Cyril Knowles and Martin Chivers scored twice here for Spurs in the League Cup final 2 years ago against Aston Villa. Now it's the turn of Norwich City with their skipper Duncan Force. Jim Blair beyond him has only had one full first team game, the tall fellow there, third from the left. A whole mass of fans, some 35,000 of them have come up from East Anglia to support the Canaries here at Wembley. Now let's catch up on the two teams for this Football League Cup final. On the left, Norwich City, unchanged. Side here that will spoil and fight and do its best to stifle Spurs. Two men mainly in the front, David Cross and Jim Blair. Cross, their top scorer, with 12 goals. And players like Graham Patton, who scored 10, will be one of the midfield workers for them. And Spurs, the scare with Mike England is over. They too can be unchanged. I suppose the man that Norwich will fear most must be Martin Chivers, with 5 goals in his last 5 games, and has been the top scorer in the Football League Cup in the last 2 seasons, each time with 7 goals. The referee today is the man who refereed the FA Cup final last season, David Smith of Gloucester, with his linesmen Mr. Thacker of Lincoln and Mr. Fly of Pontypridd. David Smith having checked with both linesmen that all is in order. Norwich get us away, the 1973 Football League Cup final. Knowles putting it straight back to Pat Jennings, wearing a jersey of royal blue. Norwich defending the goal to our left in their shirts of canary yellow, green shorts, Spurs all in white. Perryman, Gilzine. Nice stab off there for Perryman again. Played good, accurate football there by Tottenham, but there was a foul by Max Briggs on Steve Perryman. And a tough midfield worker there, Perryman, getting chopped down by another tough midfield player, Max Briggs. Now it's Knowles. Knowles coming in again. Perryman. Kinnear's gone away on the right for him. And Perryman spotted him well. Cross towards Gilzine again. Pearce is right in there, and it was Peters. And Keelan, if anything, maybe a fraction of a second late in reacting to that one. Spurs at the moment looking the more confident. Pratt. Ron Saunders, the Norwich City manager, will be suspecting, I think, that the longer his side can hold out against Spurs, the better their chance will be. Things going exactly to Norwich's plan of contesting everything in the middle of the field and not allowing Spurs to get going and hoping for a breakaway themselves. And here's Cross, but he really should have found Padden there. And on the ground, as he turned on that Wembley turf, John Pratt might well have twisted his knee, and he wouldn't be the first victim of that sort of thing at Wembley. Certainly Pratt, one of the younger Spurs players too, who is Tottenham's insurance, I suppose, against any sort of complacency amongst the side. He and Perryman, who are tremendously young and ambitious players who will fight so hard today. David Stringer, number 4, voted Norwich's Player of the Year last year. Well, John Pratt, just a little fright no more, a little niggle on that knee. Gilzine now. Briggs getting their head to it. Padden. Butler. And Blair offside. Offside. The linesman was flagging way before Blair got in his shot. And I don't think there was much doubt that he was offside. Well, it'll be heartbreak for this fellow who has battled right through the season in the middle of the field for Spurs. His great day of glory. 20-odd minutes of it gone, and it looks as though he's got to go off. Beale towards Chivers. He was being pulled back there. Well, that's an incredible decision because he was being pulled back by Duncan Forbes. Coates looks as though he wants to come on now. And poor John Pratt. A tragic moment for him, being applauded off by the referee, who must realise the feeling out there at Wembley this afternoon. And so Ralph Coates is on. That'll be a slight readjustment in the Spurs side, maybe. Commiserations there from Eddie Bailey and from Bill Nicholson. Kinnear's header. Now Perryman. Pearce beautifully changing the course of the play there to find Ralph Coates. Butler backing away. Coates going on. That looks suspiciously out of play from this distance, but the referee was the linesman was directly in line. Pearce, good play. Coates again. The Spurs crowd getting a little irritated, wanting Coates to cross it quicker. But it's another throw, and another Chivers long throw. And again, Mike England has gone in. And in fact, it's almost there. Peters, nodded away by a couple of Norwich City defenders. And the closest anybody's been to a goal yet. Kinnear with the header and Norwich with the throw. Stringer kicking rather wildly from behind Gilzean, but it's given Norwich possession with Payne. The cross again towards Cross, and Padden is going in, and Jennings had to go down. In all the bungling there between Coates and Padden, Jennings went down, saw that ball, somehow got his body behind it. Padden was injured in the melee there. Spurs were saved by their goalkeeper. Not that Jennings was to know, but the whistle must have gone fractionally before it for a free kick. Butler straight at Coates. Coates to Gilzean, and off to Ralph Coates again. Again for Gilzean. Kinnear following in. Pearce back for Perryman. For Pearce again, and now Coates. Back on his heels there. A little slow in starting for that one, and Butler was able to make the clearance. But it's another throw for Spurs, and Chivers already advancing that direction. So another long, effortless throw there by Martin Chivers. Lower trajectory that time. Gilzean turning on it! And just as well for Norwich that Keelan gathered that one, with Peters and Pearce right on his tail. Throw. Martin Peters waiting for someone to become available. It'll be Jimmy Pearce. But then he decides it should be Alan Gilzean. And again, Stringer kicking wildly from behind Alan Gilzean and giving Spurs another free kick. Again it's Knowles with his accurate left foot. Played again towards Chivers and Gilzean going in, and Keelan again grabbing it for keeps. Blair to Briggs. Pearce. Chivers getting his head to that one and reacting quicker and being pulled back. The worst kind of professional foul by Duncan Forbes, and he's going to be put for it. And you can't argue other than that David Smith is absolutely right. Duncan Forbes, the mildest of men off the field. I don't know what argument he's got, because he was physically pulling Chivers back, who was through. So the first name goes into the book. It's that of Norwich's number 5, Duncan Forbes. Noticeable how very quickly Chivers reacted to that ball, and it's now Knowles with the free kick, making very little of it. Very shallow one, nodded away by Briggs, and now it's with England. Coates turned inside again for Perryman. And Coates looking out there, hoping that somebody was out there. I think Perryman thought that he should have been. Livermore. And certainly with their limited ambition so far, you can only say that Norwich are playing it exactly as they intended to. Stumbling a little bit, Perryman going in as though his life depended on it, and now England finding Pearce. On now for Chivers. Now can Chivers react to this one? Good piece of defensive play there by Butler, and it looks as though he might well have twisted his knee on the turn as well. That really was about the first time that Chivers has been allowed to go free. He was almost free when Forbes pulled him back a moment before. Kevin Keelan, who's looked so sure for Norwich this afternoon, said he had 2 ambitions in football when he started out. One was to play against Stanley Matthews, and he did that when he was way back with Aston Villa, and the second was to play at Wembley, and that most certainly is what he's doing today. Kevin Keelan. And Philip Beale's ambition, I suppose, is to urge Spurs towards a goal now. This is what they'll be hoping to do in the last seconds of the first half with this corner. Gilzean coming away, and England was in there a shade before anybody else, but wide of the Norwich net. And there goes the whistle for half-time, with the progress report, I suppose. Frustration in the first 45 minutes for Spurs, and everything going according to plan so far for Norwich City. No goals. Pat Jennings without too much to do. One good save there as Patton went through. And Duncan Forbes, solid at the back, as indeed is Kevin Keelan for Norwich, but Forbes with his name taken. Here's Keelan. And so a half-time score at Wembley Stadium that reads in this Football League Cup final of 1973, Norwich 0, Spurs 0. David Smith makes sure that everything again is ready for the start of the second half, and this time Spurs kicking off 0-0. By no means a classic cup final. We can hope for something maybe a little better in this second half. Coates now for Spurs. Certainly Norwich would, I suppose, be feeling a little more confident than they were at the start. Came here as great underdogs, but they've held Spurs well. They've played very successfully to a plan. And Livermore getting this one away. Blair turning it in. Kinnear back for Perryman. That scuttling run and the pass, but is accurate there for Knowles. The cross again, this time towards Gilzean. Kinnear the high one. Peters poised beneath it. And this time Stringer again, not really getting it away. Kinnear again, this time for Coates. Well, he somehow muddled his way through it, and it's with Perryman once more. Now with Kinnear. And again, the lofted ball there. Gilzean to Chivers. And Pearce hitting it first time on the volley. But without really any power. Livermore. Cross. And now Coates. Well, it's nice to see somebody taking on a defender, and Coates went just as far as he could, and he still found Martin Peters. Crossed again towards Gilzean. Pearce! Oh, and against the outside of the post and behind. Pearce by no means caught it the way he wanted to, but it came across, and it was some good work by Coates. And Pearce almost turning it in to put Spurs ahead. The Norwich fans' hearts in their mouths, but here's Keelan with the goal kick. Beale. Gilzean to Perryman. That might give Spurs a bit of encouragement now. Forbes under a lot of pressure now from Chivers. but he's again sticking to it well and saves the corner. Tottenham's throw, though, and I think it'd probably be a long one by Chivers. He was already there on the spot, and again Mike England's going forward. Again a lower one. Chivers with the back heel. Now Mike England hoping to get in. Coates hoping to blast it in, and Coates has done it. Ralph Coates. A beautiful shot by Coates, and again the long throw has put Norwich in trouble. Nodded out, and finally coming to Ralph Coates. With 18 minutes left, the substitute scores a cracking goal. Coates, who has had such a long time to work himself into the Tottenham way of doing things, was disappointed badly at only being a substitute, is the hero of this crowd now. Norwich on the break with Briggs, and it's a cross again, and cross goes in. Padden gamely coming up on the outside. Graham Padden, tremendous play by him, and a dangerous overhead kick by Cross, giving Spurs a chance to collect themselves again and get a free kick. Billy Nicholson showing no emotion, but you would really know him never to show emotion. All he wants is more effort. Ron Saunders a bit disappointing for him. Now he's telling his side to come up more. And indeed, Norwich must open it out now. The stifling has got to stop. And now they've got to make chances for themselves. Padden, Blair with his arm in the air, getting his header down. Pearce thought about passing that back to Jennings. That would have been dangerous, and that at least is safe for the moment, but it's with Livermore. Blair is down and injured in the area. Anderson was right up, and Perryman now to bring it away again for Tottenham. That should set Chivers' legs going. Forbes there with him, and Chivers now on the rampage again. Right foot, and straight at Kevin Keelan. But as Norwich start flinging a few men forward, so Chivers might have a little more room to exploit his pace against that of Forbes. Blair is still injured on the edge of that Spurs penalty area. The Norwich sub beginning to take his tracksuit off, Trevor Howard. It looks as though Blair might be helped off. So when they need a little more striking force, it's a striker who goes off. Trevor Howard, perhaps better known as a midfield player, scorer of 2 goals this season. Having his studs inspected by referee David Smith. Who's had a good cup final, David Smith. So here's Howard. And away goes Blair. And there's a little bit of anxiety about Spurs now as Payne turns it in once more. A good one, and a very good catch, and he's lost it. And Perryman winkling it away. Who finally got it away, but Pat Jennings under a lot of pressure there, caught it and lost it. Duncan Forbes. High again there, Cross is homing in on it, but Mike England away to Kinnear. Butler again. Then finally Chivers sticks out a long leg, and it's with Coates once more. Chivers not quite getting to that one, but Peters picking up the loose one, and it's with Pearce. Knowles outside it, and it was beautifully played there for Cyril Knowles. The cross, against the post. Chivers, no. Screaming shot there from Knowles, who had scored only 1 goal previously this season, and he thought a dream was coming true there with another one at Wembley. so much then for these tremendous underdogs. They've given Spurs a fright or two, so much so that the Spurs fans are already beginning to whistle to give a hint to the referee David Smith, but there are still a couple of minutes to go, and it's with Buckler, the number 3. And a corner given, because that must have bobbled off the Spurs defender, and it's not all up yet. Norwich now piling everybody forward. Duncan Forbes right up there. If talking could win matches, he'd be a winner every week, I would think. He never gives up. Anderson with the header, Howard also trying to get in, but again it was the fist of Jennings. 2 Spurs players are down as it's crossed again towards Duncan Forbes, and just a fraction wide. And a little few recriminations in that Spurs defence. Forbes was just a fraction away with that one. Philip Beale was having a go at Alan Gilzean, maybe for not picking up Forbes. And Forbes, I think, sensing that might have been a golden chance that has gone forever. Knowles, a high ball forward, and that's it! And Spurs have won the cup that they won 2 years ago, and they've become the first side ever to win it twice. The only goal of the League Cup final of 1973 going to the number 12, the substitute Ralph Coates. Ron Saunders and Billy Nicholson, the 2 managers going out. Great respect for each other. And so Spurs have done it. They kept plugging away at that Norwich defence, and nobody more so than Steve Perryman. There's a plug for the big match. It was a big match here today that never quite fulfilled all the expectations. But with the likes of Perryman, and before he went off so tragically, John Pratt, and Mike England at the back, and Pat Jennings as well, Spurs just about had the edge, translated by that single goal from Ralph Coates. So Duncan Forbes gets a tankard from, there's the Spurs chairman, Sidney Wale, from the Earl of Harwood. Norwich, you put up a brave fight, says the scoreboard, and who on earth at Wembley this afternoon could argue with that? So Spurs have done it again. Martin Peters forgot his tackle. Mike England, magnificent at the back. But who's the real hero, of course? The man who scores the winner, Ralph Coates. And after so many disappointments at White Hart Lane, good to see it work out for him as well. Cyril Knowles, Jimmy Pearce, Steve Perryman, Joe Kinnear, Martin Chivers, so beautifully marked all afternoon by Duncan Forbes, Pat Jennings, some marvellous catching by him. And the unluckiest man, I suppose, at Wembley, John Pratt. Wembley for him meant 20 minutes before the agony of a twisted knee. Commiserations from the Spurs chairman and Philip Beale. So the Wembley team have done it again. The cup final specialists go into Europe again next season, certainly as holders of the Football League Cup, and they give it to Ralph Coates, the man who's come out of the shadows to steal the headlines with the winning goal at Wembley. A tankard in his hand and a cup on his head. That was the picture of a winner, Ralph Coates.